They know who they are. We see what happens. No matter what we do in the city, they have a coordinated effort in their appearance to attack it. And it's the same fingerprints and the same names.
It's about the news media, not about other individuals or other groups?
It's a combination. I think it's a combination. You know, my son...
And you won't call them out because that would be elevating them unnecessarily.
Exactly. You know, my son...
But you have these names and people in mind.
Based on my observation.
And what you did when you were a police officer of the NYPD, you said yourself you're a disruptor, and that's one of the reasons that they, don't want you in office. I would see a parallel in that 84-year-old woman who spoke to you at the community conversation, and you said she was acting like the owner of a plantation that you were on, but she was just speaking out in the way that you say you have. Did she deserve that?
And let's go back to that, because that incident is so important, because that talks about the distortion of reporting a story. What you saw on social media and what you saw in the reporting of the story was Eric's action. No one talked about we were in a room of Spanish-speaking New Yorkers when we had an orderly movement of the tables.
But did you disrespect her in turn when you called her effectively a plantation owner?
Did I call her a plantation owner?
You said that
I was very clear what I said.
She said that she was treating you like someone on a plantation
exactly.
that she owned.
And that's exactly what I received from her. Exactly what I felt that when you speak in that derogatory term, that she was disrespectful.
Mayor Adams, I think it's interesting that we're set up in this room because it's all white dudes, white elected leaders.
I would have been beaten up for saying that.
Not live? Would you have been beaten up? I don't know about that. But why do you think there's only been 2 black mayors in the history of New York City, a city that has a rich and vibrant black culture and record of black excellence? Why have there only been 2?
I think it's a combination, and it was a 30-year gap between Dinkins and Eric Adams. And there's a combination to becoming a mayor. Access to resources. I was the only mayoral candidate that stated we should have removed all outside dollars for campaigning. No one else called for that.
And before we know it, it's going to be time for you to focus a little bit of your job on running for re-election. God spoke to you, you've said, and told you that you were going to be mayor in January 2022. Has he told you that you're going to be re-elected?
Well, 2 things. Number one, if you are doing the job every day, you don't focus on when it's time to run for re-election. Every day I do the job, and New Yorkers are going to make that decision. And I believe that, my path has always been clear.
Has God told you you'll be reelected?
My path has always been clear on what God wants for me to do. And when that message comes clear to me, you'll be the first I will share with, no matter where you are in journalism.
Mayor Eric Adams has invoked race and racism repeatedly during his time in office when pushing back against those criticizing him. In an exclusive interview, New York One political reporter Emily No asked him about his perceived attackers, what role religion and God play in all of this.
There are people that want to tear you down to the point that you no longer feel you are who you are. And sometimes you have to use painful analogies to get your message across.
In an exclusive one-on-one interview with New York One at City Hall, Mayor Adams was asked why he frequently compares criticism of him to treatment of slaves. Why go there?
I know you think you can whip me and make me go from saying Kunta Kinte to Toby, but damn it, Kunta Kinte is all I know.
Who are you speaking about, and what is the grievance that would warrant a metaphor to slavery? Adams talked about news coverage of his administration and stressed the need for more racially diverse newsrooms, announcing he would raise $500,000 from the nonprofit Mayor's Fund to help young journalists. He alleged inaccurate coverage by some outlets, but resisted providing details.